So one thing that's very important when we talk about isotopes and when we talk about the mass of the isotope is to make the distinction between the average atomic mass that we find on the periodic table and the mass of a given isotope. So for example, for neon, you see a decimal number on the periodic table, 20.179. However, that's the average atomic mass for neon. The concept of average atomic mass, it is a weighted average, and it is the average of all the atoms of the different isotopes of an element in the world. So it is the weighted average. We'll learn about more how to calculate this weighted average later in the year. The basic concept is that you take the mass of each isotope and then take into account the percent of all of that element that is made up of that specific isotope when you're making the calculation of the average atomic mass. So, um, again, what we see on the periodic table isn't the mass of an isotope, it's the average atomic mass. Now, for given isotopes, as you can recall from previous videos, there's different ways of representing their mass. So for example, there's three different types or isotopes of neon. You have neon 20, neon 21, neon 22. They can be represented either with the name, dash, and then the mass of that isotope. You could use the symbol, dash, the number of the mass of the isotope, or you can use other forms of isotope notation. These forms of isotope notation include an isotope notation where you have the symbol, and then to the left upper corner of the symbol, you have the mass of the isotope. So neon 20 would be represented this way. Neon 21 would be represented like this. Neon 22 would be represented like this. In this form of isotope notation, you can also include the atomic number. However, it's not necessary because we know that the atomic number represents the number of protons. And we know that for all of the neon in the world, all of the atoms of a given element in the world, you have the same number of protons. Therefore, here we can represent neon 20 in this way, with the 20 in the upper left, and then of the isotope notation, and then the atomic number to the lower left of the isotope notation. And that's true for neon 21 and neon 22 as well. So that's just a very important way of reviewing how to represent the isotopes with the isotope notation, and also taking into account the difference between the mass of the isotope and average atomic mass that's found on the periodic table.